Hello everyone, welcome to Dynamic Study. Today's quiz class will be on literary theory. This is the first quiz class on theory. Many of you have requested me to post a quiz class on theory. So I have thought of making this video right now. So this is the first quiz class. I will also upload a number of quiz classes on this topic. So I hope you will enjoy it. Let's start. First question. What does the term autotelic text mean? Option 1. Text is an unified identity complete in itself. Option 2. Every text is self-contained and independent of its author. Option 3. Both 1 and 2. And option 4. None of the above. This is a very important term, autotelic text. What does it mean? The right answer is both 1 and 2, option number 3. Autotelic text says that text is an unified identity complete in itself and every text is self-contained. Now what does that mean? First of all, you need to know that autotelic text is a concept associated with new criticism. Now what is the central principle of new criticism? The new critics believed in text itself. That was the motto of the new critics. They said that only the text is important and nothing else is needed to be considered. The close reading of text is important, not the author or context of a text. So the new critics believe only in the text. And from this principle, the concept autotelic text comes. So autotelic text also says that text is important, text is complete in itself. There is no need to study about the biography of author, the context of the text, the historical background. We need to take a text just as a text. Every text is complete in itself, every text is self-contained and independent of its author. So we need not to explore much information about author. We need to just focus on the text and the text itself. So that is the basic principle of new criticism, and this is the basic concept of this theory, autotelic text. Okay. Next question. Who first coined the term new criticism? Option 1. John Crowe Ransom. Option 2. Alan Tate. Option 3. I.A. Richards. And option 4. J.E. Spingram. The right answer is J.E. Spingram. I.A. Richards coined the term practical criticism. Okay. And J.E. Spingram first used the term new criticism in his book New Criticism. So the title of the book is also the same. Next question. Which book did William Empson write on Paradise Lost? William Empson, you all know Empson is mainly famous for 7 types of ambiguity. So in which book Empson talked about Paradise Lost? Option 1. Milton's God. Option 2. 7 types of ambiguity. Option 3. Some versions of pastoral. And option 4. All of the above. All of these works are written by William Empson. Okay. So the right option is option number 1, Milton's God. William Empson was also a new critic. So in this book, he says that Satan's conflict between whether to submit to God or follow his own desires can be explained through new criticism. So Satan's conflict was projected in Paradise Lost between whether to submit to God is good or to follow his own desires, to rebel against God. So this kind of dilemma can be analyzed through the principle of new criticism. That was the argument of William Empson in the book Milton's God. Next question. Identify the members of the group Neo-Aristotelians. Who are the Neo-Aristotelians? Option 1, R.S. Crane. Option 2, Eldar Olson. Option 3, Norman Maclean. And option 4, all of the above. So who are the new Aristotelians? The right option is all of the above. They are also known as Chicago School of Critics. Okay. So they actually opposed the beliefs of the new critics, and they said that a text can only be understood when it is located within individual genres. So they are talking about not only the text but also the associating factors of a text, including the genre and the author. So they opposed the view of the new critics. They said that a text can only be understood when it is located within a perfect genre. So the genre also needs to be explored. That is the basic principle of the group Neo-Aristotelians or the Chicago School of Critics. Next question. Which new critic wrote a book on Keats's Ode on a Grecian Urn? It's a famous ode by Keats. I hope you have all read the ode. A new critic wrote a book on this famous ode. Who is the critic? Option 1, Cleanth Brooks. Option 2, I.A. Richards. Option 3, C.K. Ogden. And option 4, F.R. Leavis. What is the right option? The right option is option number 1, Cleanth Brooks. And the book is titled as Keats's Sylvan Historian, History Without Footnotes. That is the complete title of the book. Sylvan Historian is an exact phrase coined from this ode on a Grecian Urn. Next question. Epigraph, foreword, introduction and preface are examples of transtextuality, intertextuality, paratextuality, metatextuality. We all find these things at the beginning of a book, right? The preface is also there, introduction is there, foreword, epigraph. So these are examples of what? What type of textuality? The right option is, these are all examples of paratextuality. Now this textuality and its various divisions, these concepts are given by Gerard Genette. So what are paratext? Paratext are the elements provided before the beginning of a text. Okay. And you all know that all of these elements are presented in the beginning of a text. So what is the use of these elements? Epigraph, foreword, introduction. This actually helps to direct and control the reception of the text by the reader. So how the reader is going to approach the text, how a reader should read the text. So these kind of introductory portions, or the background informations rather, provide the field to control and to direct the reception of a text by the reader. So that is the paratext. And these are the examples of paratextuality, concept given by Gerard Genette. Okay. Next question. When one text makes critical commentary on another text, it is called what? Transtextuality, hypertext, metatextuality, none of them. The right answer is metatextuality. This was also a concept given by Gerard Genette. Next question. We need to interpret the interpretations more than to interpret things. Beautiful lines. Interpretations need to be interpreted again. So, what is the source of this line? Who is the author? And what is the work? Option 1, structure, sign and play. Option 2, from work to text. Option 3, S by Z, S/Z, and option 4, allegories of reading. The right answer is structure, sign and play. This is an epigraph, and it is an epigraph to this work by Jacques Derrida. Structure, sign and play is actually a series of lectures given by Derrida, and this epigraph was written by Montaigne, who is known as the father of essays, right? We need to interpret the interpretations more than to interpret things. This is an epigraph to Derrida's famous work, Structure, Sign and Play. Next question. J.H. Miller wrote the book The Critic as Host as a response to which theorist? J.H. Miller was also a deconstructionist critic, and he was a student of Jacques Derrida. So he wrote the book The Critic as Host as a response to which theorist? Option 1 Harold Bloom, option 2 M.H. Abrams, option 3 Paul D. Mann, and option 4 Jacques Derrida himself. The right option is M.H. Abrams, and it is a response to Abrams' book Deconstructive Angel. Okay. The last question is, who wrote the book Structural Analysis of Narrative? Option 1 Mikhail Bakhtin, option 2 Roland Barthes, option 3 Gerard Genette, and option 4 Michel Foucault. All of these are great theorists, right? So who wrote this book, Structural Analysis of Narrative? This is a famous work by this is a famous work by Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes is also a structuralist as well as a post-structuralist critic. Okay. So here our today's quiz class ends. Thank you very much. Keep on watching Dynamic Study. Keep on learning. Please like this video, share this video with your friends, and also please put your views in the comment section. We will meet very soon in another interesting class. Have a nice day.